Hi, this is Sweet June. How's everybody doing today? Coming back at you with another video. Actually, this is a redo. Um, so I'd been cooped up in the house, so I had to come out here and get some air, and trying to stay home as much as possible. But I had to come out here and get some air. Might get out here and rake some leaves. I'm thinking about raking some of my leaves today. Um, so I figure I decided to knock out some videos while I'm out here. Um, this is actually a redo because, excuse me, um, when I did the video before, I did it on my son's phone, and I somehow put it in slow motion. Accidentally hit the slow motion mode, and it was like, whoa, whoa. I was talking like that. So I had to, I think 5 people clicked on the video. So if you clicked on that video, I had to delete it because, well, you couldn't understand what I was saying. So this is a redo of this. I'm redoing that video. I want to talk about the service people. Thank God for the service people and the people that work in healthcare. I'm trying to regather my thoughts of what I was even talking about in that video. As we know, a lot of businesses are closed down right now because of the quarantine. A lot of they closed down a lot of non-essential businesses. So if it wasn't a business that didn't have any importance, it got closed down. There's lots of people that are laid off work. My sons are laid off work right now. Um, so lots of non-essential businesses got shut down. The only thing that we have open is the fast food restaurants. The drive-throughs are open, and the stores, because people got to get their food and necessities. And then, of course, the hospitals and the healthcare facilities. I'm what they is considered an essential employee because my job wanted up giving me a letter because just in case I get stopped, um, I can show the police my letter. Oh my God, my letter's gone. Oh my God. Anyway, I gotta find out where my letter is. My son got in the car and took it out. I don't know. I might have to break down and get another one. But my job gave me a letter, um, saying that if I get stopped, just in case they put us on total lockdown, I can show the police that I'm an essential worker. That I'm going to work or whatever, because I work at a assisted living slash AFC home. There's a couple things going on where I work. It's an AFC home and it's assisted living. So people need to be taken care of. So I still got to go to work. And people that work in your Dollar General stores, Dollar Tree, grocery stores, like fast food places like McDonald's or something like that where they have a drive-through, those people still have to work. So, but everything else is shut down. Even the post office here is still open, and the banks are open. The bank workers, the bankers are open, but only the drive-through. But everything else is shut down. So as a result, lots and lots of people have gotten laid off. So, they've canceled sporting events, concerts, all that. Even the actors and the actresses are on shutdown, lockdown. Everybody is on lockdown. I was watching The View today, and they filming it from the crib. Wendy Williams, they filming it from the crib. She filming it from the crib. So, the only people that are working right now, the only people that are working right now is the people that are in the service industry and the healthcare workers. So I want to talk about that because it's interesting because the very people that people look down upon, I'm mainly talking about the service industry, people that work in the stores, the gas stations, and the fast food establishments, the restaurants, that order takeout and all that kind of stuff, drive-throughs. The very people that a lot of people were looking down upon is the very people that are needed at this time. So everybody, thinking that's really interesting. Everybody is starting to look up to healthcare workers, um, service people that work in the service industry. People are starting to look up to them people and have a more of a appreciation for those workers, because people before all this happened was looking down on people that was working in the service industry, you know, uh, saying that, calling them lazy, saying that they didn't deserve to make more money because they're only flipping hamburgers or whatever. Looking down on those people, looking down on them, thinking that their job wasn't important because they work in a grocery store or they work at a gas station or they work in a fast food. You know how I've done videos. If some of you guys regularly watch my content, you know that I've done videos talking about that. I've done videos talking about how some of our hardest working people in this country are people that work in the service industry. I've stated that in many videos. Some of you that watch me on a regular basis have watched quite a bit of my content. No, I've said that in several of my videos. People that work in the service industry are some of the hardest working people in this country. But those are the people that work in those industries was the one. That's the industry where people were looking down on them, calling them lazy, saying that they didn't deserve to make. A lot of people in the fast food industry was saying, particularly the people that worked at McDonald's, was saying that they needed to make $15 an hour. They needed to make a livable wage. Oh, they don't deserve to make a livable wage. How did they deserve? I mean, or they didn't say livable. They didn't say livable. They said they didn't deserve. They don't deserve to make. How did they deserve to make $15 an hour? They're just flipping hamburgers. They need to go to college and do this and that and the other. And believe it or not, there's some of those people that work in those places do have been to college. Believe it or not, you know, people so quick to judge a book by its cover. So I think it's interesting that the very people that people looked down upon and said that they didn't deserve to make a livable wage and they were lazy, those are the very people that are much needed right now. Those are the people that are putting their lives on the line to make sure we get what we need. They're putting their lives on the line to make sure we get something to eat, that we get fed, and we get our food and our necessities. You see that? You see that? And so I think that's one of the blessings. There's some blessings that come out of this situation. I think that's one of them. People are starting to have a greater appreciation for our people that work in the service industry. I used to work in the service industry. I'm glad that I'm not working in it now, because I would be at a higher risk. I'm at a certain amount of risk now, but I would be at a higher risk if I worked, because I used to work at a Meijer store. If I worked at the Meijer store, I would be at a higher risk of getting this thing. So people are starting to have a more of appreciation and have more respect for people that are working in the service industry at this time. And that it should stay that way, because these people are putting their lives, they're risking their lives to make sure that we have everything that we need. The nurses that's working in the hospitals, all the healthcare workers, and not just the nurses and the doctors. Yes, I take my hat off, or I take my turban off to them. But everybody that works in the healthcare industry, in my job, I'm starting to realize the importance of my job. I know I stated before, out of frustration, sometimes I be dealing with some pride issues because I went to school for many years and I expected to be in a different position. I expected to be, working I didn't expect to be working where I'm working at this stage in my life. So, I be, my pride be messing with me sometime. And, I'd be like, well, I got to wipe booties and clean toilets. And I've mentioned that before on here. But even I'm starting to realize, I stopped and I meditated and marinated on that one night at work. And I said, I'm not just wiping booties and cleaning toilets. I know that is part of what I do, but I'm helping these people. I'm taking care of people that cannot take care of themselves. I'm doing things for people that cannot do these things for themselves. I'm sure if they could, they would. And that's what we're doing. We're taking care of people that cannot take care of themselves. And it's very important. People that work in all aspects of the healthcare industry, whether it's a nursing home, nurses' aides, what I do, um, my job classification is direct care aide. Um, that's my job classification. It's called direct care aide, and um, people that work in the nursing homes, people that work in home care, like what I was doing before I started this job, going in people's home and assisting people. People that work in all aspects of healthcare. Um, Jobs have so much importance right now. And I'm even starting to realize how important my job is right now. Because if it wasn't for us, then these people wouldn't get the help that they need. So there is a lot of importance in my job. My job is very important. Nurses and doctors, they're on the top of the rung because they're the ones that's out there trying to save lives with people that's coming down with this deadly virus. They're on the front lines. The doctors and nurses are on the front lines and they're trying to save lives. And so they're really at a high risk. And my prayers go out to them. Um, and they're dealing with some emotional things because it's taking an emotional toll. I've watched black lady on Facebook, and she said she was a nurse, and she said when people come down with this thing, they're by themselves. You're by yourself, and your family members can't come see you. And so they have to hold the people's hands before they die. It's really, really sad. It's so sad. It's sad. That they die alone without their family there. They have to FaceTime their family, talk to their family via text, and they have to FaceTime their family members because they can't be there. And it's sad. And so the nurses are the only ones there to hold their hand and to pray with them and all that and kind of be a family to them because they have no one else there. That's sad. That's sad. So my heart and my prayers go out to the doctors and the nurses that's on the front lines of this thing, and then all the other healthcare workers such as myself and all the other healthcare workers that's working in the nursing homes and then the service people, the people that's working in the service industry. If it wasn't for them, they could have all freaked out and just decided to quit. What if they all freaked out and decided to quit? How we the store would have to shut down, and we wouldn't be able to get our food and necessities. So people are having a greater appreciation for those people that work in the service industry. This is the kind of thing that I have been talking about, looking down on people, saying that they didn't deserve to make a livable wage because they're only flipping hamburgers or they're only, bagging groceries. Oh, what they do is not, hard work. Oh, yes, it is. People that work in the service industry, like I said, when I said that, I that made that comment many times on my channel. There are service people that work in the service industry are some of the hardest working people in this country. I know because I used to work in the service industry. and probably gonna be working in it again before it's all said and done. I don't know. Okay, so now I'm hoping that people will realize how important these people's jobs is, because ain't nobody working right now other than healthcare workers and service workers. The athletes ain't working. They didn't shut down the basketball tournaments and stuff. The athletes are not working. Some of them are coming down with it. Heart and prayers go out to them. The entertainers aren't working right now because you can't gather in large crowds. Can't gather in large crowds. So the singers and stuff, they can't be having no concerts. So they're not working right now. They on quarantine. So their jobs, guess what? Their jobs are not important right now. If you're an entertainer or athlete, their jobs are not important right now. The newscasters, their jobs are important because they have to report the news to us. But the entertainers and the athletes, their jobs are not important right now. But everybody was looking up to them with great respect, but looking down on service workers and certain healthcare workers. So, because sometimes nurses' aides are looked down upon because they're on the lower rung of the healthcare industry. They do all the dirty work. The nurses mainly pass meds and do a lot of paperwork. And they do some direct care, but the nurses' aides do all the dirty work. The nurses' aides are the ones that do all the dirty work. Changing the cleaning the poop up and changing the pens and diapers and other bodily fluids and things like that. Dealing with bodily fluids and all these types of things. The nurses' aides are the ones that get all that. Okay, and there was people that was looking down on the nurses' aides. You know, so everybody's looking up to healthcare workers now and having a greater respect and appreciation for them. All healthcare workers, all service workers that work in the service industry. People are looking at them and they're having a greater appreciation for them. And I am so happy about that. Because their jobs, guess what? Their jobs have always been important. They have always been important. And do they deserve to make more money? Yes, they do deserve to make more money. Hit me up in the comments section. Let me know what you think. I want you to hit that subscribe button, and I want you to hit that um, like button and share button. Stay tuned. I got some more interesting video topics coming up. I might get out here and do a little bit of raking. I don't know, it's a little windy today, so if I rake, I better get them leaves up because they're probably going to fly all over the place again. I don't know. We'll see. It's a beautiful day. Okay, so stay tuned. Be healthy. Stay safe. Quarantine. Remember, practice social distancing. Hand washing. 20 seconds. Stay healthy. Peace and love. This is Sweet Jim.